Yep. So we got Namvo on Oldhim, and we have Brandon Abarca on Briar. Now, first thing to note would definitely be the equipment here. Also, Nam starting at 0 life, so Briar is heavily favored here. But on a serious note, for the equipment, nothing special about Briar. Looks like we're not rolling with the Royal package that is being talked about a lot recently. And Oldhim has flipped over the Stalagmite, which indicates a faster plan of attack, basically. More disruptive, expect a lot of pommels, frost fangs, things of that nature.
Absolutely. I've played this matchup on both sides many times. It's always a nail biter, always a good match. Never a lack for entertainment in this match, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of decisions to be made, lots of channel mounts to be drawn, lots of ice reacts to be had.
Yeah, I would
Looks
definitely
like-
say that 90% of this match is both on the Oldhim player ice reacting at the correct time, and also the Briar player playing around the ice reacts. And so what I expect to see is when that tunic counter starts on 3, which will take a little bit longer because he did miss his first tunic counter.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, but once that gets on 3, basically you just leave it there and put the Oldhim player in a situation to where if he doesn't block with the shield, he will get Rosetta, basically, is how what it comes down to. So this is real good if he can fuse it. That would be fantastic, but not the worst because we're probably not getting too many blocks out of Briar anyway.
Must have a pretty high value target in his hand as well. Pitching away a red pummel here.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a Spinal Crush, something of that nature, for sure.
Or a second pummel.
Or yeah, that one too.
Yeah, definitely something coming.
Yeah, I think so. You've played more Guardian than I have, even though I'm basically a Guardian main. But we'll ask you. So, if you have the choice to arsenal a hit effect red versus a, we'll say like a red pummel, which one would you prioritize? Me personally, I would like assume the attack because the pummel's no good if you don't have a good attack to pair it with, right?
So it really depends, right? So if in the Briar matchup, for instance, if I have the chance to arsenal, like if the choice is I need to pitch to play or to arsenal a spinal or get rid of a pummel, then I'm keeping the spinal every day or every time because spinal is what wins you this matchup. But if it's another red attack with some sort of on hit that you're not too impressed with, like like an Endless Winter or something like that, I'm keeping the pummel.
Gotcha.
The pummel is the other way you win this game. You need to get the Briar's life total. Like if you're playing the aggro plan, you need to get the Briar's life total threatened to the point where they don't feel comfortable setting up a channel mount heroic turn without being able to like just potentially die. But you also want to save cards like Pummel and Spinal for those turns where they do get the channel and you can actually disrupt that channel turn and make it much worse.
Absolutely. And then also like shout out to Brandon Abarca by establishing dominance by picking up and shaking his deck to shuffle it instead of just hitting R. I love it. I love it. So we have double Sonata. One was paid into, one was not. That creates the embodiment of lightning. Also produce 1 arcane damage. And since Nam took the first one, there's no reason he wouldn't take the next one. And so I'm expecting either the Exudes to step things off on this turn, or you can even do an E-Strike draw card, whatever Nam sees fit, or whatever Brandon sees fit.
I think the E-Strike draw card is always one of the best options with a go again token.
Yep, and
Josh, see how you want to play out the turn.
Josh would be so proud of me right here because I just utilized something that he preaches 24/7 playing online games. Always when you add a card to your hand, shuffle your hand, because I just picked up on the fact that I know without a shadow of a doubt that he put the Exude Confidence to the bottom of his deck.
Yep. Always shuffle your hand.
Right. So now if Nam's paying that close of attention, he can realize that, that's no longer a threat, which makes sense. Exude's typically a later card or something that you're trying to stack with on the second turn of a channel to try and keep it or something like that. I do like this. Tunic's not up, so that one resource is kind of wonky, and it's basically gonna say, if you want to swing sword here, you're gonna give me a card.
It is a wasted defense point value, but I do agree.
Yep.
Because if he's gonna swing sword, now he's got to get rid of the arsenal. So.
Yep, and this does have go again, so an ice react here blocks 4 damage, which is pretty efficient if he has it, or if he can afford to.
Doesn't look like he wants to.
And if Branda elects to not
Branda.
swing sword, or Branda,
sorry, I had to.
That's hilarious. Yeah, if Brandon did not elect to swing the sword, that would be a huge like red flag, kind of like, okay, that's a CMH, because that's like one of those scenarios where you would maybe not swing the sword. But here, like I said, that ice react would have presented or prevented. But I mean that makes sense, depending on what the card is in hand. If it's just a card that he's using to have an arsenal, maybe not. But if like it's a red card and he had to pitch his ice blue to play the spinal, 100% has to be correct.
That was Ravenous Rabble that he had to pitch for the sword there, so that shield stopped a full 4. Pretty nice.
Yeah, and see, like for me, that's in that situation, I would rather arsenal the rabble more likely than not, because it prevents you from bricking. And he pitched it for sword swing, which is on average going to do, which does 4 damage. But the rabble's going to do 4 damage more than likely, unless you get unlucky and hit a blue. So it's like the same thing, but one like prevents or one's like an anti-brick.
I already saw that's 3 non-attacks in this hand so far. One of them replaces itself, but
it's also possible that Gorgtome was on top.
Oh, that's true. Could have been 5.
Just a good old-fashioned flex for 4 here, looks like.
That's it. So if Nam has anything, if he has a dead card, he's going to block it. If not, he's probably just going to eat this, because this is a very lackluster turn. That's pretty good. Fix the hand a little bit.
And if he has ice react,
I think even just fix the hand, just stopping that 4.
Oh,
the ice react would have been gross. Okay, but we'll see.
Well,
he
probably
did
another
save.
spinal.
He did save that other card. I'm thinking that card in his arsenal is a good red card.
Oh,
yeah, it's a pummel.
I love it.
It's a pummel.
Let's go.
Let's go, Nam. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Oh well, yeah. That's fine.
If you do the math on the pummel play, unless you like give your entire hand, you have to crown away your arsenal, even if it's like CMH, because you're just giving too much value by letting them. So this way, it's 10 damage plus 1 card, which is still extremely high value, but it is at least not getting that extra card.
Him being able to keep an arsenal, be ahead on life by 8 points now, fully on the driver's seat.
That's right.
Yep. And also, Nam really needs to take note of what card was discarded. That was Coax. So that means the Briar player could have a go again problem, or they could need. Yeah, okay. So it looked like it might have been a go again problem.
Yeah, I'm curious if this is going to be an attack without go again. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got snap, so this is at least a little threatening. I mean, he's already got a card to arsenal and 1 floating. If he gives him shield though, then the snaps actually are threatening a sword swing and an arsenal. Yeah.
If Nam ever finds himself here with an abundance of ice blue cards, it's going to be like an easy block ice react kind of situation. But if he has a good attack here, he just doesn't care about the on hit here. He's just going to keep tempo.
Pretty chunky.
Is that yellow? Is that yellow Earthlore?
I think it's a yellow one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a yellow one.
Yeah, this looks like Chris's Worlds list. So Chris does run Lightning Press. I do not believe he runs Razor, so that's not really a possibility here. Although, who knows?
You never know. This is an interesting block. Nom
Yeah,
is
don't.
always very aggressive with his stalagmites, which I'm never a fan of.
Yeah.
Change his
But
mind. Maybe not.
Because tunic counters up
especially
here,
with
it
tunic,
doesn't-
yeah, exactly.
All you're doing
Oh,
is saying,
yeah.
"Give me your tunic counters." All you're saying, it's not actually preventing anything.
Right.
Oh, he's doing both.
Yeah, we have ice react.
Doesn't likes his hand.
I don't.
I don't like the ice react here either.
Well, the ice react's fine
Oh,
because
he
you're
took
basically
it back. He took it back.
Well, he's just gonna draw the same card.
Well, that's
right,
true.
right. So all you're doing is saying, okay, instead of me having to block with 2 cards to stop the on-hit effect, I'm just gonna do 1 to nullify it and take a little bit more damage, which could be correct, but during a channel, it's not a channel mount heroic turn, so it's probably not correct. But also getting snaps when it's not a channel mount heroic
Oh,
turn
well,
is actually a
20%
valid
still.
strategy.
He wanted to keep this hand, so
Let's see some fireworks.
see some gas.
Hopefully he doesn't Earthlord Surge's hammer.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
Imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Frost Fang Pummel, love
If
it.
this isn't pummel, I don't know what is.
Double pummel
Alright.
blue in hand.
Tell me you ain't got pummel without telling me you ain't got pummel.
I'm gonna take a bunch of damage. Have 3 cards in hand to hit you with a frostfang.
I'm glad he took that ice react back because that really just was going to cost him his arsenal and it wasn't going to cost the Briar snapping, doing anything after that.
This is double pummel. It almost gets the whole hand.
Oh,
So here-
The whole
double
hand
pummel?
and,
No way.
and full tempo.
So like I think here's the Briar player. I think it's actually correct to block 9. Simply because
Block
you're
9
gonna
attack for 4.
yeah, just block for because like in this situation you're taking 9 and you're still losing 2 cards. So it's like I think you always have to block 9 here, and then that way hopefully you can just clap back with a 0 for 4 and try to maintain that embodiment and try to like find a window when Oldhim doesn't have something super threatening.
Yeah, this one's gonna sting. Being at 14 life now, most of Oldham's threats are now presenting lethal.
Yeah, because he got an E strike, which at worst is 5 damage, right? Because
Right.
the card that he had to pitch plus E strike is 5 go again.
Ooh,
And
gonna
see,
play it out.
this
is just not good.
This is bad. Like, yeah, I would have just given Channel Mount Heroic. I would have said, look, you deserve it. Because here, like, you get blown out by hypothermia. You get blown out by another Frostfang. It's just so many things here that make it where next turn, what we have to count is, does he get more than 1 attack for the bonus on Channel Mount Heroic? Because if he doesn't, he just made that play for an expensive nimblism is all he did.
Yeah. And he could draw bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
it just
Oh,
It's either-
whoop.
I don't know about
There
that.
goes that
Oh,
hypothermia.
I don't know about that. I probably would have full blocked and then maybe played it because, like, other than the rabble, which he already saw pitched one of them, like, it just shuts down the whole deck.
Yeah, it really depends on what's in his hand here because there's a lot of high value attacks that he has not seen
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
He's only seen 1 Spinal, 1 Frostfang, 1 CNC. Blocking 4, taking 3 here. The other red pommel is also on the bottom of his deck. We have to keep in mind.
But, like, with a 3-card hand and no tunic counter, there's nothing really other than just a spot. Okay, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's a good one. But with him still having grasp up here, believe he can give him. Well, I guess he doesn't need the grasp. He can just give him 2 cards here.
Call me crazy, but do you keep the Thunderquake and pitch it instead of the Terra Sunder and then hold the Terra Sunder in hand to bluff a pummel, and then at worst you have like a really good tempo maintainer in the arsenal if you get the armor?
Yeah, I think that might be worth 3.
Yeah, it has to be worth 3. I mean, that's just such a good play because then you get him blocking 8 instead of, well, actually he has to block 9. to stop the effect. So
It at least gets him thinking about what that pummel's going to do to him. But at this point, having like bluffing the pummel is not nearly as devastating because 2 of them are gone and the other one's on the bottom, so it would have to be like a blue or a yellow pummel. If his opponent's paying attention, if that is. This is the block for 5. Take 3 here.
yeah, but see, if he
Yeah.
threatened the pummel, there would be a whole another card.
Yep.
And then a 2-card hand, like the best thing you could do is snap or snatch and snap it, and then another attack. But you just ice react your way out of that one. So it's
Right.
like, no matter what the hand is, the worst you can do is have 7 thrown at you.
Uh-oh.
He's trying to keep it for another turn.
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Now this is where if Nam has any sort of disruptive hand, you're taking every bit of this damage.
Because there's only 2 damage coming after this on the Rosetta because no non-attack yet.
Yep.
Point.
If he had the Tome of Harvest, though, that would have been nasty because it would have been Earthwar Surged and then an extra 2 on the Rosetta.
The 7 will put him to 14, 2 more will put him to 12, so he'll still have the life lead with a full hand. And Tunic counter up for his Crown of Seeds and Arsenal. Like, he's in a good spot still.
Yep.
So if his hand is not
But
bad.
But if this hand is one of those like hammer for 4 hands, then that's not good.
Yep,
Nope. That's not turned on.
yeah, he took the damage for
He
no
took
reason.
the arcane.
Oh, we can't say anything. So
Oh, sorry, too late. That's just illegal play, so I can say stuff about that.
So we really need like a spinal here, or like another. That's depending on the hand. He did just pitch like, or got rid of like 2 blues. So there's a good chance that he may not have one. So this actually isn't. This isn't bad at all.
No, I like this.
Missed the tunic counter. Don't love that, but that's okay. He just realized it.
Now they're even. Yep, E-Strike, an expensive one with Channel Lake on the board. Nope, that is not the way those go on the bottom.
They're not gonna get to it anyway.
Yeah, I know, but he like literally pulled it out to make an effort, and then just completely ruined it. But nice thing here is the Briar is almost basically out of armor. Like the Tunic is whatever. So any threat that Nam is able to pose after this turn is devastating. Ooh.
Put your red for
got
it,
him.
too.
Got him on the reds.
You reveal a red though. That's nice.
Now he needs to be careful because if you look, because if all he plans on doing this turn is just playing 1 attack, he would have played the Coax and not the Rabble because you get non-hit effect associated with the Coax, and it's a guaranteed 7.
Right.
So there's something else that's going on this turn that Nam needs to pick up on.
You can ice him.
Like a light. Oh, what could possibly be going on?
It could be something as small as like he has a blue and he's just pitching a sword swing, or okay.
Interesting.
Okay, sure. Yep, I think I'd prefer not to gamble on the 7 and just get the guaranteed 7 plus non-hit, but
Spinal here is a very, very good.
Yep.
Wish there was 2 ice cards to go with it, but
Lovely.
this also makes me question the block with the choke slam. You save 3 damage with it, and you lose an arsenal, which the arsenal is really good here because you have Tunic counter, and it also gives you the option to have that attack already, like a good attack already banked away.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
The Symbolism.
Let's see what that arsenal was. Snatch.
Snatch. Old-fashioned 7 power.
That was the
Snatch.
trouble last turn. He couldn't play it through the channel link.
Yep. Yeah, that channel did a lot of work.
All right, so
Okay. Okay, we got the answer
block.
for the snatch.
good block. Now the question that what Brandon's probably weighing right here is, does he snap into a tunic counter swing? Which I don't hate it because the game's already
Oh,
okay.
that's
we can
also
do that
very
too.
good.
Yep.
This is where I like saving that stalagmite, the stalagmite use.
Yeah, it'd be really nice
Um,
here.
Yep, because now he's gonna have to take 4 more.
Yep.
And now he's got a 2-card hand, so all he's really
See?
doing is ice hammering probably.
Hmm.
All right, he's gonna tunic counter save 1 health. Okay. Sure.
Interesting.
Ooh,
Okay.
it's not bad.
With no armor, if he didn't have the embodiment, this would be very threatening.
Yeah.
Oh, but if Nam gets blown out, if the Briar player has a 4 block, like a Force of Nature, or another channel, or a Pulse,
Right.
because then it's just tunic and 1 card, and then you have like
Exactly.
even life and 3-card tempo. But if he does not, then this is perfectly okay, and this gets 2 cards, and there's not a whole lot the Briar player can do. They can either go like 4/4 or something like that, but
But when we get down into these end game scenarios, if the Oldhim doesn't have an arsenal, they are unfavored in these even game, like trading card for card scenarios.
100%.
Wow.
Oh wow, he's just
He wants
taking
that
all 5
two-card
of it.
hand.
Okay. Yep. Discard. So that basically means that he has a non-attack attack with go again and sword swing. So
He's gonna be presenting lethal.
so I'm expecting like a nimble into a rabble probably.
Oh, he did have
he-
the Force of
He
Nature.
had the what?
He got rid of Lightning Surge.
He
I
wanted the less
mean-
health.
I mean, I don't hate it, but
Hmm.
Yeah, that's probably worth it because you're
Yeah.
taking 5 to block.
We haven't seen a Blizzard out of Nam yet. I'm curious if he's running Blizzards.
I don't know, but it looks like Briar's getting just full tempo here.
Yeah.
Because then here's 2/2, which is going to even it up, and then looks like Nam's just going to icy hammer and then arsenal.
Yep, which he saved his tunic for, so... Oh, well... That is,
Not bad. It's gonna
Let's
demand
see.
2 cards.
It doesn't necessarily demand 2 cards. Which
could
is
be
why
tunic
I'm
and
not
go down to 1.
sure... Yeah, I'm not sure that the Command and Conquer is correct here. 3, 4, 5, take 1.
Yeah, if he had an arsenal, obviously it's correct, but
Yeah, I kind of like the Icy Hammer on that turn.
right, because it makes this
Saves.
play very awkward.
Right. Well, also, when your life gets down so low against Briar, you like to have that Crown of Seeds active because you're so efficient at blocking damage, and you can just kind of wait until you find
Yeah.
that pummel to end the game. Well, like we predicted, guys, Oldhim vs. Briar, always a close, good game.
Oh,
That's a good one here.
great. Well, not only that, but he realized that he was about to mess up, and he was going to Sonata and then
Oh, yeah,
Based-
true. You
Scar.
weren't going to have to go again.
Yeah, you would have got messed up on the go again on the ice react. So this is actually a very heads-up play. The only downside is now Nom kind of knows there's a Sonata, but you know, it is what it is. Yep, and he's just gonna ice react to end the turn, which is good. Oh, so I guess either way you're kind of SOL.
Yep.
So now Nom can hopefully Icy Hammer if he has another one, or I guess in this situation, maybe another like CNC or something might be correct to guarantee 2 cards.
The CNC now becomes much better that your opponent is at 2.
Yeah.
Because it's an absolute guarantee of 2 cards. Unless, I guess they can still find one of those 4 blocks because he's got the embodiment, but...
Right. Well, he knows one of the cards in hand is a Sonata, so he just needs to keep that in mind and not forget that.
I'd like to point out, observing like 4 turns ago, Nom threw his Tunic and Crater Fist in front of the Rosetta Thorn to save 2 life. Those 2 single armor blocks deny embodiments, and it even gives Tunic energy as well.
Yep.
So that's a like equipment usage, especially blocking, especially with Tunic. Tunic blocks and creates resources. It's like really, really important to use that properly. And I mean, frankly, like I think if he still had his Tunic and Crater Fist up, this game would have been over.
Yeah, because he right now he's not doing any embodiment management, so these attacks are getting blocked.
Sometimes it sucks to like, oh, I'm taking so much damage, I'm not actually covering up anything. Who cares? You could win the game on 1 life, right? You gotta get maximum value from your equipment if you want to win these close games. All right.
Also, since his opponent was so kind, Nom does know one of the cards in his opponent's hand here, so he can kind of play into that.
Well, seeing that Coax come forward even slightly, though it came back, that gives me a little hope here. That's a 2 block, and he was already ready to commit it. That might be a sign that he doesn't have a non-attack in hand. Let's see.
Well, it basically means that Sonata is his only non-attack,
or
else it would have already been on the...
We forgot about that.
He would already be blocking with it.
But no, Josh is right. It was probably a little hasty to stop that damage there. Would have been better to hold on to those tools for later.
Yep, so we have a go again problem because he has the Coax and Sonata, so what he's probably going to do is just block with the Coax and kind of hope and dream on the Sonata and like hope to rip a Rabble, basically, is probably what he's going to do. Go down to 1 here, throw the Sonata out, hope to rip a Rabble or a Scar. If you could get the last Scar, that's great too.
Yeah, Nom's actually in trouble here because he doesn't have an arsenal.
Yep, so he's gonna pay into it. So
because any go again attack here, if he hits 2, is lethal.
Right. He's probably gonna pay 4 into it if I had to guess. He sure has the option to. He could use Tunic, but it looks like he's just gonna do the 4. Which is fair. I mean, there's an argument for either way.
I personally would not, because all I'm looking for is 1 go again attack, and I have the resource floating for the Tunic, so I don't have to worry about the oof.
Oh baby! All right.
You were saying?
Yeah, that's my game right there.
Yeah, and so that's
live and die by the Sonata.
Yeah, I really wish he would have turned over that top card to see if it was an attack to kind of gauge whether if he would have paid into it the extra card he would have hit it.
Well, if they weren't playing competitively, he could have.
Well, since you shuffle the deck, I don't think it matters.
It doesn't, but it also, like, in a tournament, you couldn't even do that because you're allowing yourself more information about what's in your deck when you're not actually allowed to look through your deck.
Right.
But
that's a great point.
But here, Nom's just gonna block with one card, and if he presents like anything the size of a spinal or anything like that, then it's just that's it. And because Briar does not have an embodiment, and so it gets the whole hand, and then the next macho wins.
Any like 6+ power attack here. 8 is also quite good.
Yeah, 8 works.
The swarming and the blue combination might have been a better choice there. I guess you could just go 1-3-2, but with him at 2.
So I guess on the last, I think I would have, me personally, I probably would have blocked the Sonata and the Autumn's Touch, and then basically just thrown the Cokes, and then Arsenal the Swarming is probably the line I would have taken, which would have kept Oldhim down to a 2-card hand more than likely, and give you an Arsenal target basically.
He's got the 0 for 4. Can't be mad at that.
Nom still has the ability to take 1 damage share, and his opponent does not, which is huge.
Yep. Because if he could just do the same thing, the only problem is the embodiment, so he just has to make sure that taking the damage is worth.
Right. I'm fairly certain the Force of Natures are gone now. And it's 2 or 3 of the channels gone. I can't remember.
2, but like even to taking the 2 blocks to 3 blocks is huge. Not when you're talking about the hammer, but like this play right here, like if he has a bunch of 3 blocks now, this is a whole different equation.
Oh, baby. Couldn't get that dominate started.
Yep. See, embodiment bailed him out here, and so now Briar's probably just going to make a rune chant and sword swing, and that's going to get 2 cards. And now Nom only has 2 cards to work with, and
yes, but his hammer will present 2 cards, and he gets to keep an arsenal still. So then the Crown of Seeds becomes way more potent for his opponent's 2-card hand.
Absolutely.
So this is like how it usually is in this matchup. Very, very close. Obviously, that Sonata was the turning point, but
yeah, this is one of those situations. It's a tough choice on whether you run D-Reacts in Briar against Oldhim, because it's like, oh yeah, when it blocks the difference on like a Frostfang pummel kind of thing, it's like huge, right? But then if they try to fatigue you, it's the worst thing in the world. But man, if he has a sync blow or something right here,
it'd be devastating.
It flips the game on its head, and it basically takes you from a losing position to a winning position just because you can block 1 extra damage.
Briar player has 15 cards left in deck, so I don't believe he plays Sync Balloon. I think we've seen everything.
It's been shuffled like 3 times off of Sonata, so it's possible, but yeah, I think you're right.
Highly unlikely, but
yep. So it's probably make a rune chant, throw a 4 attack if I had to guess, or sword swing and carry.
He probably drew another. I think he's running out of attacks because he had to block with so many on those others.
I think the Briar player knows that they're not winning this game on 2 cards, especially now that Oldham's on an arsenal. So the Briar player really has to take some amount of setup, even if it's just putting, a Rabble in arsenal or something.
Right.
Well, it's definitely, I guess you could safely assume it's not a Rabble because he would have played that out. But any another Exude or a Cokes or anything like that in arsenal here is a decent spot. And you're not going to get any more cards by playing the make a rune chant Cokes, because it would be Crown would cover the breakpoint and then 1/3 block, and then the rune chant's covered up by the float. So it's the same thing to just swing the Rosetta Thorn without playing anything, and then just bank the attack, and then hopefully Oldhim can only swing hammer, and then you're in that situation again where maybe you can come at him with 3 cards, maybe.
Right. Nom has showed Brandon.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're gonna pull cards out to block, flip them upside down, put them on the table if you want to like get a visual look. Don't
He
just
must-
pull him out of your hand.
He must really like that pummel in his arsenal.
Ah,
He did not want to shuffle away that arsenal.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he
just-
got rid of some reds, so
He-
that's
Yeah. Big tell there.
if he just hammers here, then that's definitely a pummel, and that'll be more than likely game. Yep, that's a pummel. That's game.
1000% to pummel.
Because like I guess it's not game. I mean, the Briar player should respect it. At a minimum, block 7 if you are playing. If you could do the count. I think Nom's played 2 red ones. So there is 1 red out in the wild. But you could, is he on the Michael Fang 20,000 pummel list, or is he, is he doing just 3 red and a couple blue?
Right.
So
He's seen at least 1 blue. He's seen all 3 reds.
right.
What is this? A block for 4? So he's just not respecting the pummel. Yeah.
Yep, and it's a blue one, so like, let's
Alright.
react here. That's it.
The pummels did a lot for Nom that game.
Yep, you cannot de-react with a flex. So that is game. That is game.
Oh, and he had,
Oh, okay.
and a no block in hand.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have overblocked anyways there.
He could have played around the blue one, but that's it. That's all he could have done.
That was a close one. I'll let you boys wrap this up. I've got to eat some food real quick while Nathan, you're up next, right?
Yeah, I think I'm hopping in now.
Good
Bonjour.
luck. I will be back in a minute.
So the pummels doing a lot of work for Nom that game. Very happy to see that.
They were.
It's funny.
Very
Josh
close game.
brought up the blocking with the armor a little too quick, and it's reminded me of how I lost to that wizard. I cashed in Oasis Respite on a Lesson in Lava. When Lesson in Lava is not that bad, you just sit on it until Wildfire comes out. And just like that 2 damage wasn't so bad. You could have sat
Yep.
on that tunic and maybe got an extra value out of it. Little things like that.
So that
Yeah,
makes us 1-1 now, which is cool. Evens up the playing field a little bit. Looks like they're just talking about their game.